Would you lump
normally
a
I would
grand
say,
on that?
yeah,
We'll do it then.
we'll put Jason's wages on it.
Let's move to the derby, though. Chelsea versus Fulham. And this one, has kind of turned into a closer affair than in recent years gone by. Years ago, we would have said Chelsea absolutely all day. But going into this one, is this a closer affair, Ollie?
Yeah, I think so, mate. Definitely. There seems to be a lot of frustration with Maresca at the moment. Cole Palmer posted that cryptic Instagram post, I think, insinuating that he wasn't enjoying the style of football. He put a link to...
fuck off, man. Enjoyment.
So Cole Palmer with his cryptic Instagram post, I think, insinuating he's not enjoying Maresca's football.
Do you think it means that?
Yeah. It's him playing football last season under Pochettino where he's put enjoyment with a sort of sarcastic looking smiley face. I don't think Chelsea fans are enjoying Maresca's football either. I mean, and Leicester fans warned them about it. We've talked about this before, how, it's quite one-dimensional, and I think some teams have worked it out, and when it works, it's great, but when it doesn't work, you're just passing the ball around with no real direction.
Do you know what it reminds me of Maresca's football? It's those guys that walk around with Liam Gallagher's haircut. And he's not had that haircut in 20 years.
Yeah.
And Maresca's playing Pep's football, and Pep doesn't even play that
No,
football
and
anymore.
he's not playing it as well as Pep. If it wasn't for Cole Palmer, Maresca would have been sacked ages ago because, Cole Palmer could have had so many more goal involvements this season if it wasn't for Jackson, but he's the only creative player in the team, and he's doing it despite the system, not because of the system, and I think that's what will frustrate him. Chelsea, is worth saying, have not won an away game in the Premier League since the 8th of December.
So they're not going very far though, are they? That's the crow flies.
Yeah,
it's the big West London Tory derby. There'll be caviar flying, prawn butties being thrown at each other.
You're insulting my lot there. Proper Victorian derby.
Jacob Rees-Mogg will be giving it big runs in the away end.
Fulham won the reverse fixture as well at Stamford Bridge, so they obviously beat Liverpool in the last home game. They beat Chelsea in the reverse fixture. Chelsea's away form shocking.
Question for you then: Chelsea are good value, 3-2, but I wouldn't personally back them at that anyway.
No, it's not a sniff.
How high would they have to go? What odds would you take Chelsea?
Honestly, if you offered me 4-1 for Chelsea to win now, I wouldn't even. I'd do it because I know it'd have good value, but I wouldn't lump on.
No,
I genuinely think that Fulham will get a result here, and because of the fact it's a derby, as you mentioned, and also both teams do have serial foulers in there. Sasa Lukic for Fulham, obviously Caicedo for Chelsea. I'm going to back both teams to receive a card.
Yes,
Fulham,
I like that.
Fulham double chance.
Yeah, I've just got Lukic fouls, 2.12 fouls per game in his last 10. He's playing in the big Tory derby, and I feel like it could be a bit feisty because this game does get a bit feisty sometimes. I mean, across the last head-to-head games, the actual results weren't very spectacular, but we've got cards flying in everywhere.
Yeah. But also, it's worth caveating that with, I think this Chelsea side, they seem downbeat, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them put in a meek, tame performance.
I'm going to say my picks for this one: Lukic 2+ fouls and over 30 booking points in the game.
I think that the thing is as well is that Chelsea are playing tonight, so they'll be a little bit worn out. I think Chelsea are like the opposite.
They have got about 200 players though.
That is true.
and they're 3-0 up against Legia Warsaw, so I can't imagine they'll be playing a full strength side.
Remontada apparently is what the Warsaw children have been saying before.
In terms of it, I think Fulham are the opposite of Chelsea. They're united behind a manager. They're playing out the skin. I think Fulham have done really, really well this season, overperformed expectations. Whereas Chelsea, even looking at the data, they've underperformed that. They're underperforming their kind of goal scoring ability. They're creating opportunities, but just not scoring them. Fulham are kind of doing the opposite of that. And you're asking how on earth have they kind of pulled that result out? So I'm backing Fulham, double chance on that one. And also, as you both mentioned, the fouls of Caicedo and Lukic as well. So I think that's the one to kind of back there. I can't see Chelsea getting a result. And in a way, I know that the Premier League table says different, but I feel like Fulham are the better team than Chelsea at the moment. Continuing over, we might as well let you start with this one, Sam, because it's all about your team. Manchester United versus Wolves. Do we get a United again?
No, not at the moment. I mean, we're obviously yet to see what happens with tonight's Lyon second leg. But the fact that Wolves obviously aren't playing midweek, they'll be more rested, and it's a 6-pointer. 14th and 16th in the Prem. United a good value at
That's
evens
crazy, isn't it?
at home at Old Trafford
United
against
good-
16th
yeah.
place in the league. It's insanity, but it's the reason it's more insane is because it makes sense. So I honestly would not back United for this one at all. I wouldn't be that surprised if we won it, but I definitely wouldn't be touching the overall result in terms of betting. I definitely wouldn't be backing United at evens.
Double your money on United to beat Wolves at Old Trafford, and it's not looking like
I
a
know,
good
and this
bet.
is a Wolves side who, for the first time in their history, have won 4 Premier League games in a row. They'll be looking at that. Vitor Pereira spotted in Wetherspoons after the last one, which I love
Yeah.
everything about that, mate. He'll be giving them a team talk in the bloody slug and lettuce before the game, going, lads, this is your chance at glory, 5 in a row. They'll be turning up to United, Wolves, and they'll be thinking, we'll turn these over.
He defo calls it the slag and lettuce as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's worth saying United are better at home at the moment, but when I say better, 3 draws and 2 wins in the last 5. It's not exactly setting the world alight, and they're playing on Thursday night, so Thursday, Sunday is never good.
Strand Larsen's been playing well at the moment. He's 5 goals in his last 5 games for Strand Larsen. Cunha's back in the team now, and Cunha, we all know when Cunha plays, he pulls the strings. Cunha averages 2.3 shots on target per game, so he's always worth a punt, especially when you say the cameras are on him and he's a centre of attention. Again, like we talk about, I'm not going to back a result here because I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw or if Wolves win or even if United win. But the Cunha shot on target feels inevitable. And always, we talk about serial foulers. You've just got to back Ugarte to commit a foul as well, especially when he's playing against Wolves
Ugarte.
midfield, who they've got some serious strength
Techie
in
ballers
there,
as well. I think for this one, I'm going to back both teams to score because United creating a decent amount of chances, 1.74 XG per game, and Wolves conceding a decent amount of chances. But United always concede. So I can definitely see both teams to score in this one.
Do you think that Wetherspoons are now catering for Wolves? Is Vitor Pereira going in there and going, "Oh right, kind of the platter"?
What I
Is-
think
is
they
gonna
should
have
do,
a platter
rather than
for Wolves?
Wetherspoons catering for them, I think Wolves admin on their Twitter or something should put out the table number so that everyone can send orders to it on the Wetherspoons app.
Yeah, you'd get a load of like bitter Birmingham fans though, wouldn't you? Ordering all sorts to them.
Yeah.
Or just going and
just
filling
floating the
them in.
idea out.
That'd
Table
be fun.
23 at Wetherspoons, you just see the Birmingham fans coming over the horizon.
A load of Zulus.
Yeah.
But with this one, I think what could be the defining moment of this game is actually the goalkeepers. So we've talked enough about Onana, but Jose Sarr, he used to be one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper in the Premier League. He was, preventing goals left, right, and centre. This season, he's the 3rd worst in terms of XG prevented.
Wow.
So, kind of looking at it, his -5 XG prevented data just shows that he's not the goalkeeper that he once was. And so it could be less of, strikers having wonderful opportunities, and it could be, have they got butter on their goalkeeper gloves? And so I think this one, like you said, Sam, both teams to score. I think there'll be mistakes in there. And are we going with Cunha and also Fernandes a shot on target?
Well, that's what I back for Newcastle, but United just looked absolutely toothless. But normally you back Bruno to sort of rise above that and somehow get something away, albeit they're against Newcastle. So
I didn't like the Bruno to have a shot on target against Newcastle picks. I just thought it'd be so deep, but I think at Old
Yeah, but he
Trafford,
spiked a hat trick from that deep position.
yeah, but he
And
always
he's-
scores them at home. Never does it
okay.
away. Not when he's playing CDM away from home against
Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't mind the Bruno shot on target in this one, but I just something about me hates it as a pick just because of how deep he plays. I guess it kind of depends on who he plays with is the big one.
Do you not think it's absolutely huge news as well that Xerxes out for the season?
No,
Wolves
not
would have been
really.
shitting themselves if he was starting.
I think, okay, maybe not Fernandes, then I think Cunha is going to have a shot on target.
Yeah.
He is the talisman of Wolves. Everything's going to go through him. He'll be trying to set up chances. And so, like I said, both teams to score, and we'll do a Cunha to have a shot on target as well. Leicester versus Liverpool. Is this one worth kind of talking a lot about? Because surely
this could be
Liverpool are gonna
murder.
steamroller.
Is what I've just written down because Liverpool look like champions, not in a sense of that they're tearing people apart, but they look like they're just going to win no matter what, as we saw with the last minute winner. And I feel like they'll want to put on a show because Leicester are now, without a doubt, the whipping boys of the Prem. They're one of the worst teams in the Prem for quite a while, I would say. Leicester, they're conceding 2.09 XG per game on average, which is just outrageous. Against Brighton with the 2-2, they conceded 4 XG, which is literally... That's one of the highest I've ever seen.
2
conceded
pens,
in a
though.
game.
I've
Yeah,
not
pens
seen
obviously
that.
stack it up by 0.75.
A lot.
They just look...
It's steep.
I feel like this one, the AI as well, it gives us the most likely scoreline, and 3-0 is up there, which is just crazy. Away from home to another Premier League side, I feel like they're just gonna maul them to death. Would you lump
Normally,
a
I would
grand
say-
on that?
One more.
Liverpool to win.
Yeah.
We'll do it then.
We'll put Jason's wages on it. Normally in this scenario, I would back Liverpool to win to 0 and winning margin of 2 or more. And that would be an absolute lump on. I wouldn't even think about it, and I'd go about my day. But
Should we go
I'm
500
just gonna
quid
go
each off our wages if we don't
Liverpool.
win?
You won't even get anything. I mean, it's 3 to 10, like you say.
So,
for
yeah, so we
Liverpool
get
to-
300 quid.
No, I don't. It's just not worth it.
Wow.
This is a slippery slope, isn't it? Let's
check
move
the
on.
odds.
Let's move on. Jason, have you got anything to say on this one?
No, I pretty much agree with you two. I was just more interested in how far this, putting a mortgage on Liverpool to win was going to go. I do want to mention as well, before we finish, the Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest game. I know it's on the Monday, but I think this one could throw up, a bit of a shock because Spurs are favourites in this game, but I don't think that they should be. Tottenham recently have been so poor. I know Forest have fallen off a cliff, but the Spurs seem to be almost the whipping boys now in the Premier League as well. They've just been so dreadful. I think there'll be goals in this one. I think the defences will decide it, and we have seen that Forest have been better defensively this season. It'll be nice to watch as well, personally, because I'll see the Tottenham fans walk past my house on the way back from their game all miserable.
I was going to say, how have you managed to say that Tottenham are the Premier League whipping boys without cracking a smile?
I think one thing that's worth saying on this is that the AI hasn't rated Nottingham Forest all season, and if you dig into the data, you can see why. I mean, the season-long data for Spurs, every single attacking metric is better than Nottingham Forest, and the defensive metrics in terms of XG are very, very, very close. I mean, Tottenham concede on average 1.6 XG, and Nottingham Forest have conceded 1.5 XG on average. So the AI has never been hot on Nottingham Forest, and I think everybody's predicted they would have a downturn at some stage. That's been delayed and delayed and delayed, and we're starting to see it a little bit now, I think. Another reason why Tottenham might be favourites for this one is that they're undefeated in the last 4 home games, which doesn't sound too great. But for Tottenham, that's a start. So I agree with you, though, Jason. I don't think that Tottenham will win this game. I just don't see it. I mean, like we all know Forest, they don't concede many goals and they try and hit teams on the break. And I think Tottenham are just a prime team that can be undone in that manner.
Forest, none of them care about the data, do they?
I think
They don't give a shit.
I think if Alanga's fit for this one as well, that'll be a huge boost for them because they need that pace. Without it, they just struggle. Like you saw that against Everton, they got dominated by Everton. To be honest, I think it wasn't a snatch and grab. It looked like it if you just saw Everton scored in the 90+ minute, but to make it 1-0. But Everton had real chances in that one. It could have been 2 or 3. So I think they need that. They rely so much on that pace, and Alanga not starting was an issue for them.
I think he's past fit. He's not on the injuries at the moment. It's still Aina and Awanyi. Those are the two that are definitely out for this game. So that could be a huge boost as well. And like you said, Postecoglou just plays this kind of suicide football. He plays it far too open, and he'll be pressing. Forest are happy to absorb that. That will really, really suit them in this game. So, they're the type of team that struggle if they have the ball too much. So Tottenham would be happy to have the ball, and then Nottingham Forest, I can just see them on the counter. And I want to remind people, do check out the Numbers Game website. All this data that we talked about is free for the Premier League. But if you want to have more of a chance and maybe dip into our knowledge a little bit more, there's some great packages on there and also prizes for people who do really, really well. But for now, subscribe to the channel. We're making daily content, really high quality content as well. Like the video so that it gets spread a little bit more, so that we can share our winnings with everybody and have a fantastic Game Week 33